Our next inductee is the late Sharon Bonnett. The radio studio at Northwest Missouri State University is named in Sharon's honor. After she served there for more than 3 decades at the campus radio stations and shaping countless broadcasters along the way. Please welcome Sharon Bonnett's son, Tim Shipley, to the stage to accept this induction and this honor.
Good evening, everyone. Thank you for giving me the floor for a few minutes tonight. The lights, it's a little bit hard to see the faces that I recognize, but to everybody that's here, in honor of my mom, thank you all for being here. If you pick up on a little inflection in my voice, there's a reason for that. First, thank you to the NBA, to Chad, and everybody for putting on a first-class event here. Everything from the accommodations to the menu to the welcoming committee at Landshark last night has been absolutely top shelf, and I've loved every minute of this. So thank you to all of you. You've put a lot of hard work and effort into this, and I know it's not an inexpensive thing to do, so thank you for that, for making this a nice event. Anecdotally, thank you. Anecdotally, about 6 months ago, a little more than 6 months ago, John Coffey called me. I was on my way home, and he said, "Hey, I've got some really exciting news. In June, your mother's going to be inducted into the Missouri Broadcasters Hall of Fame, and I just wanted you to know that." And so I'm filled with all this honor and joy and emotion and pride. And then a few minutes later, Chad Mahoney calls and kind of dives a little bit deeper into what's going to happen over this weekend. And he said, we're really looking forward to the event, having you here, and you'll accept the award, and then you'll have to say a few words to the group. I said, great, this is excellent. Thank you for the honor, for the distinction. I'm really looking forward to it. And then I hang up the phone and I continue my drive home. I'm like, wait a minute. I'm gonna have to get up in front of a room full of people and talk? That's not my thing, that's your thing. So I started to get a little bit nervous, but I'm like, you know what, I got 6 months, I can prepare. All these things are rattling around in my head, and I write notes if I'm on an airplane or whatever, and I'm putting all this together, and the nervousness, the anxiety kind of goes away. And then I walk in here tonight, and I'm looking through this, the pamphlet, and I'm seeing all these faces, and I'm like, wait a minute, these people are the absolute best at oratory and getting in front of a microphone. I'm not going to impress anybody up here tonight, but it really is an honor to be here, and I can't tell you enough how much I appreciate all of this. It was all touched on in the video and in the pamphlet, but I'll summarize how I feel about, well, my thoughts on how my mother conducted her life in broadcasting. 34 years at KXCV and KRNW, and the nuts and bolts of broadcasting and being in front of a microphone, she'd mastered that pretty early on in her career and was really good at it, comfortable with it, good with being on the air. But what really filled her cup was engagement, impact, and then the outcomes with the young people, the students coming through the mass communications and broadcasting programs. And it started with the engagement. When a new student would come into the KXCV studios, she wanted to get to know them, get to know about their lives, what their class schedule was, what their families were like, what their friend groups were like, and how they spent their time when they were, not in the studio at 5 o'clock in the morning or whatever. And then it was about impact. How could she work with these young people and help them get a little bit better every day so that they're better today than they were yesterday and better tomorrow than they are today? And she would come home and share all these stories about having an impact and all these opportunities to engage with all these people. And it was really interesting to learn from someone who did it really well, how to do those kind of things. And I tried in every way that I knew how to carry that into my professional life and then also at home with my family. And I think at times I've done okay with it, but nowhere near as well as she did. But then her favorite part was the outcomes, to see people move through the program, people like John Coffey, people like Lisa and John and Mike and all these other people to move through the program and then have the outcomes of successful family lives, successful careers, and do wonderful things philanthropically that are the outcomes of good leaders engaging and having an impact on young people. So that was the part that was really special to her. She loved the on-air stuff, she loved broadcasting, but it was really about the impact and the outcomes with students. That's what meant the most to her and really filled her cup. So again, thank you all for this honor, this distinction. I know it takes a lot of work to make things like this happen, and not just anybody gets to be in this club. She's in here with a lot of really special, very talented people, and it means the world to me, to my lovely wife, Nancy, to our friends that are here, Rosie, Jeannie, the Johnsons, everybody. It means the world to us. So thank you for that. And if you'll indulge me for just one more second, I wanted to say something to two people in particular, John Coffey and Denny Matthews. 2 years. First, 1985, two things happened in my little life at 7 years old that I'll never forget. One, the movie Back to the Future came out, which was tremendous, and I'll come back to that in a second. But I also went to my first Kansas City Royals game, and I fell in love with it. It was about this time of year, June, and I loved it. I was a Royals fan and have been every day since. What I didn't understand at that young age is baseball's not a cheap thing to go to live. So most of my time was spent enjoying the sport, either on TV or on the radio. And Denny, you've been a part of my life for 41 years, and I feel like I've known you forever. I only met you last night, but when I think about broadcasters, aside from being just Hall of Fame human beings, as John Rudy mentioned earlier, you're storytellers. And as listeners, we get to, if you're really good at it, like John Coffey and Denny Matthews, you get to visualize the story. And I can understand that left field foul pole that you mentioned when the foul ball, runs just left of it. Or John, when you talk about, a spot at Bearcat Stadium or maybe Emporia or somewhere else, you guys are so good at telling that story that we can visualize that. And not everybody on the air can do that. I've listened to a lot of radio, traveling all over the country, and you guys are special. And I know everyone else that's being inducted tonight is too, but you two in particular have had an impact on my little life. And I just wanted to say thank you, and keep telling those stories, because even though we don't get to tell you thank you, we love it. So thank you, and congratulations to both of you.